Good morning to one and all. So we'll start the session 2 on synthetic fibers and plastic. So in our previous class we understood what are synthetic fibers. So synthetic fibers we bifurcate them in terms of natural and man-made. So the natural fibers means they are derived from plant and animal sources. Now man-made are nothing but artificial fibers. So different types of synthetic fibers we understood, that is nothing but a nylon, rayon, acrylic and polyester, where rayon is called as an artificial silk. As silk being much expensive, we have an alternative to silk. We understood about nylon, its applications. We understood about polyester and different types of blended fibers made from polyester and its uses. We studied about acrylic, which is an artificial form of a wool, or it is an next alternative form of a wool which is less expensive than wool. Now we'll move on to what are the characteristics of synthetic fibers. Now as we discussed, any material, if it is a man-made or it is a naturally available, will all have its own advantages as well as disadvantages. So let us understand the characteristics, or you can say advantages of using synthetic fiber. What it could be? It is synthetic fibers, they are color resistant. Now what do you mean by color resistant? They do not bleed color when we wash them. Usually cotton clothes bleed color when we wash, or they intermix with a color with the same clothes or with a different clothes. But synthetic fibers, they are color resistant. They do not bleed colors. They do not shrink. As when we compare to cotton clothes, when we wash, cotton clothes shrink. But wherein synthetic fibers, the clothes made from this, fabrics made from this do not shrink. They are easily available, easy to maintain, easy to wash and dry. Now when I talk about easy to maintain, you can wash them like even during the rainy season, or you can wash them easily. It dries quickly. It does, because it does not absorb much water, right? It is water resistant. Easy to wash and dry, that is why it is easy to maintain. We need not iron them to wear. Less expensive than any other fabric, more elastic. So these are the characteristics, or you can say these are the advantages of synthetic fiber. Now there are some more here. Resistant to moth. We discussed that. Now acrylic or the wool, natural wool, when we talk about, to store the wool we require naphthalene balls, moth repellents, etc. Right? Because they catch or they attract them very easily. But wherein artificial wool, that is acrylic, or let that be any synthetic fiber, you can store them easily. They do not attract moth. Not only from them, sometimes cotton clothes, when you keep them for a very long period of time, due to lot of moisture, it absorbs moisture, or what you can say is some fungal or some fungus grows on them, right? What we can see. But that is not in the case of the synthetic fibers. They are stronger much compared to cotton or any other fabric. On regular wear or regular washing, other fabrics get weakened. They can tear easily, but not the synthetic fibers. They are tough and they are durable. So these are the characteristics or advantages of synthetic fiber. Let's move on to disadvantages. It cannot absorb moisture. Why? Because as we told, it does not absorb much water, right? That is why we can wash it very easily and we can dry it very easily. That means it cannot absorb moisture. It cannot absorb sweat easily. We usually do not wear any synthetic fiber clothes or synthetic fiber materials in summer. Why? Because in summer we sweat a lot. So we wear cotton clothes during summer because it keeps us cool, it keeps us comfortable, because it can absorb the sweat. That's the main reason. Catches fire very easily. Yes. I will come to this point again. Difficult to iron. If both together, if I say, it catches fire very easily. Now moreover, when we talk about synthetic fibers, they when exposed to heat, they melt very quickly, right? So when I talk about difficult to iron, when you want to iron the synthetic fibers, as soon as you apply heat, or if there is a more heat, what you say here is it melts, right? So difficult to iron these type of materials. Catches fire easily. Usually while playing in or what you can say is while playing with crackers or while playing with any fire things, or we usually do not wear clothes made of synthetic fibers. We also do not wear clothes made of synthetic fibers in the kitchen while cooking food, or when you are in the kitchen working on or you're with fire. We do not wear clothes made out of synthetic fibers. Why? Because they catch fire easily. Once they catch fire, they start melting. So once it melts, that will stick to your skin, right? It attracts your skin or it will stick on your skin. So that is why they are not safe enough to wear while cooking in the kitchen. Not safe enough to wear while playing with crackers or any of the fire kind of thing instruments. So these are the basic disadvantages of synthetic fibers. As we discussed, whenever there are advantages, there are few disadvantages also. Now, next we'll move on to the next synthetic fiber, which is nothing but a plastic. We will study what is a plastic. So plastic is another synthetic fiber, what we can say, which is made up of different types of monomers. Now, why plastic is called as a synthetic fiber? Because we can mold plastic, we can reshape the plastic in different forms by giving different colors. Now, as we had arrangement in the synthetic fibers, how we had monomers, a chain-like structure as we discussed, right? So these different small set of monomers, units of monomers combine together to form a polymer, correct? Similarly, different monomer structures are there in a plastic which will form a different form of a polymer, plastic polymer what we can say, or different monomer arrangement in the plastic. Now, in synthetic fibers, we only had one type of arrangement or different, but here we study a different types of arrangement of polymers in plastic. Let us study about that. We will be only jotting down the types of structure in plastic, but not in depth about those polymer chain. So the first one or the first type of a polymer in plastic, what you can tell here is linear polymer. The second one is branched polymer. The third one is cross-linked polymer. And the last one is network polymer. That means here how the monomer arrangement is done in the plastic. So when number of monomers are joined together, we get a polymer. Now just look at these names. Now linear. What do you mean by linear? Linear is in a straight line. So what I can tell here is if the monomer units are joined in a straight line, it is called as a linear polymer in plastic. Now what is branch? Now trees have different branches. Now similarly, if I have a branch here, can this be a branched polymer? Yes, I have a separate branch here. So this is a branched polymer. The figure is not important. It is only for your understanding what I am drawing here. Cross-linked polymer. Cross-linked will come in one form of a branch itself. But again, now this will get linked here. This might link here. There is an interlink between each other. Network polymer. Now network polymer is something where you have 2 or 3 polymers. Like this is one network, this is one network, this is one network. I mix all 3 and make one network. That is called as a network polymer, where 2 or 3 different types of polymers chain are mixed to form a network polymer. Now we move on to the next one. How do we classify plastic or bifurcation? How are plastics classified? Now we all know that plastics are plastics are the type of synthetic fiber which is very easy to use. We can store, we can use, it is extensively used in many things, because we can give different shapes to plastic, different colors to plastics. It can be molded, right? So based on these features and characteristics, plastics are further classified in terms of thermoplastic and thermostatic plastic and thermosetting plastic. We will just see the bifurcation. So, as we told, we will classify plastics in two different types, because plastics we can remold it, reshape it, recolor it of our desired things. So, we classify them in terms of thermoplastic and thermosetting plastic. Now, let us understand them in detail. Now, thermoplastic, so what is the main feature of thermoplastic? It gets deformed on heating, cannot be molded. So we'll come in depth with one after the other. It gets deformed on heating. That means thermoplastic can change the shape. That means suppose if this is a plastic, I want to deform this, I want to make something else of this, wherein I cannot be doing that. I have to send it to the recycling unit where they can melt this, change it, give different color and make something out of it, right? So now the people who come outside on the road to collect all the waste things, plastics and all, we give certain materials to them. Now what do they say sometimes? These things, these plastics we do not take, right? I'll come to it now. So thermoplastics get deformed on heating. That means I can change, once the plastic is not of use, we can give it to the recycling unit where they will change the color, shape, remold it and make something better out of it. So in thermoplastic we have two types. One is polythene and another is PVC. Now polythene we all know that in terms of polythene bags, polythene cover, we usually call a typical common name for that as a plastic bag, correct? But actual name what we are supposed to call is a polythene bag, because if we say plastic bag, now plastic again we bifurcate in terms of thermoplastic and thermosetting plastic. So from tomorrow or from today itself, when you term as a cover, please do not use the word plastic cover, please term that as a polythene bag, because plastic are again two different types. Next is, so here we use it in making plastic bags, that is made from polythene, known as polythene bags. PVC. Now PVC, full form you all might have heard, polyvinyl chloride. So these are used in making pipes. PVC pipes we all might have come across this word, right? So it is used in making pipes. So many other things of plastics what you come across. Let that be a bank ATM card, or let that be any holder, wires, tubes, pipes, etc. It is used in making wide variety of things, so which can be remolded and on heating and given a desired shape and size with a different color. Let's move on to the next one, thermosetting plastics. I have written here cannot be molded. Now cannot be molded means wants to give a desired shape to a particular thing. Now assume that this is a thermosetting plastic. There is certain shape for this because I have molded it. That means once I have given a desired shape, after molding, I cannot redo the same thing here. Suppose if this is broken, I cannot remold this on heating. It is broken, it is of waste. I cannot do anything out of it. Only once for all you can mold it, give shape, give desired color. Second time you cannot mold it. Cannot be molded means for once you can do that, for the second time you cannot provide heat to mold that. It only takes the shape, color, size once. There we bifurcate them in terms of bakelite and melamine. We all have come across these words. Now bakelite is a poor conductor of heat. That means bakelite, a type of a plastic which is a poor conductor of heat, which is used in kitchen utensils, handles, electric switches, etc. Now you all might have come across, you've seen a cooker at home, a pressure cooker at home that has a black handle, right? Can you hold the pressure cooker handle when it is on your gas stove? Yes, it does not, it is a poor conductor of heat, that is why it does not get hot easily, right? You can hold it. Even though at a very high temperature, still you can hold a cooker handle in your hand. There are many such things like kadhai, pan what you have that has a handle. You can say your toothbrush also. So there are many things which are made out of bakelite. The main important, the versatile property of a bakelite is it is a poor conductor of heat. That is why it is also used in making electric switches. Now, these bakelite kind of a plastic, once broken, you cannot rejoin them again. Now, suppose, let me come to this part, thermoplastic. If your bucket is broken, right, you can melt that, you can join that to a particular person or to a particular shopkeeper. If you take and go, there are things, you can rejoin the plastic materials or items sometimes. But thermosetting plastic, once broken, you cannot do anything. Ask your parents, ask your mother, anytime if the cooker handle is broken, was she able to rejoin that by taking it to somebody? No. Why? Because you cannot remold it again. It is only molded once. Okay. Next we go to melamine. So melamine is also a type of a thermosetting plastic that is fire resistant. So that is why we use them in the kitchenware, in floor tiles. It is also used in some fabrics which are fire resistant. So this is about types of plastic, thermosetting and thermoplastic and thermosetting plastic. A very important question, you get to differentiate between thermoplastic and thermosetting plastic. You can write the definition or the meaning of these plastics and with examples. So this was about a plastic, what we studied in today's class. In tomorrow's class, we will study still in detail about this. What are the characteristics of plastic, advantages as well as disadvantages. In disadvantages, we'll understand about plastic and environment. So any doubt in today's class, you can call on the same day of the video set. Thank you.